Alright, let's go over number 5. Let's get a volunteer to help us. Alberto, what did you do for the first one? Alright, if you highlight this number, Alberto, 2/3 tells you what? Yes. What about your fraction? So 2/3 is between 0 and 1. It is a horizontal stretch. Horizontal stretch with a factor of thank you. What's the equation to help us find the B value, Dylan? What is the equation for the B value, Marissa? Okay, we're going to use that number, but there's an equation for the B value. One over B equals that 2/3. Yesterday we learned that all I have to do is just take the reciprocal, which basically means flip both sides. The reason why I do that is so that I get B equals 3/2. Raise your hand if you got B equals 3/2. B equals 3/2 is our factor, so 3/2. 3/2, if you put in your calculator, is basically 1.5, so we're going to divide each of these by 1.5. Jeremiah, 0 divided by 1.5?
0.
And 0 squared?
0.
What's my order pair?
0, 0.
Good. Raise your hand if you got that so far. Brian, 3 divided by 1.5? 2. And 2 squared? Brian, what's my order pair? 3/4 is correct. Chris, 6 divided by 1.5? 4 squared? What's my order pair?
6.
Good. And Waleed, 9 divided by 1.5? Okay, so what do you think 9 divided by 1.5 is? And 6 squared?
36.
And what's my order pair? 9, 36. Let's go ahead and graph that. 0, 0, 3, 4, 6, 16. And then I can just use my symmetrical points. Instead of going right 3, up 4, I'm going to go left 3, up 4. Negative 6, 16. Use a pencil, it's better. And then when you sketch it, it should be a nice smooth curve. If you miss the point like I did, just make it more bold. Okay, so that's what yours should look like. All right, Jocelyn, let's go ahead and do number 6. Oh, thank you. Here. Joshua, what is a horizontal stretch or a horizontal compression? Let's write that. Horizontal compression. How did you know that? The what? Okay. So this one you're looking at this number. 2. And 2 is what? Yeah, and it's greater than 1, or is it between 0 and 1? Greater than 1. And that's why it's a horizontal compression. Okay? How do I find the B value, Alonzo?
2 over 1.
So 1 over B equals 2 over 1. Now here's another strategy if you get stuck at this part. You're setting up basically a proportions. A proportion is basically 2 fractions. So basically you can also cross multiply. Let me show you guys this method, and we'll see if we'll get Alonzo's. 2 times B is 2B. 1 times 1 is 1. If I want to solve for B, I can divide by 2 on both sides. B is equal to 1/2. Alonzo, is that what you got?
No. Yeah, still for 1/2.
So Alonzo, what is my factor?
2
So your factor is
plus
1/2. Or you can also write 0.5. Now we're going to divide each of these by 0.5. So if you're kind of getting stuck on that, just write that. Divide the x's by b. That's what we're doing here, right? We're dividing each of these by 0.5. Rita, 0 divided by 0.5? And 0 squared? What's my order pair? Thank you. Diana, 1 divided by 0.5? This is how I think of it. There is $1. The question is how many 50 cents are in there? 2. 2 squared? Order pair. Thank you. Joe. 2 divided by 0.5?
4.
4 squared?
15.
Order pair.
216.
Alright, going to that one. Going to that one. Thank you. Justin. 3 divided by 0.5?
6.
6 squared?
26.
And our order pair is 336. Let's graph that. 0, 0. 1, 4. 2, 16. And then the symmetrical points are basically the same thing, but instead of going right, we just go which direction? Left. Left. And hopefully you see why it's a compression. Guess you learned that in your history and economics class. Maybe those compression sleeves don't really work on those basketball players. They're just making millions and billions of dollars on people who want to buy their stuff. Now look here. We said that it was a horizontal compression, so it's pushing in this direction. Do you see it? This one we said it was a stretch. It's like the string cheese, right? Being pulled apart this direction.